is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your
Ahmadiyyah.
skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Also, thanks to those of you tuned in on the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already, or you can unsubscribe. But if you do subscribe, click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A.Shakur. Also on TikTok at Dr. A. Shakur and Twitter at DGoddess27. You can also follow the fan pages for the latest updates on what the Queen has cooking. Hey, Claudette. Okay, my fan page is in the house. Stacy. Kenyetta is here. Cherie. Okay, Juju, I see you. Warrior Status in the house. Okay, William, Mr. Hotel, daughter of y'all clothed in purple, Pearly. Okay, so let's get black into it. Silent D, UV Inferno, Mommy, Jag the Diva. Okay, Sergeant King, Lillian X. All right, so let's get into it, everyone. Likes up. Don't forget to like and share. Y'all know they have Queen Shadow Band with their nefarious selves. Aisha Muhammad is in the house. D. Griffin, Tia. Okay. All right, Danielle. Salaikum salam, beloved. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it because the nefariousness continues, and I just want y'all to pay attention, okay? I'm going to share my screen so you all can view this video in just a moment. First of all, a former Memphis police officer has come out and said some things about his thoughts on the Tyree Nichols incident and the officers involved, okay? So let me share that real quick.
There is growing fallout tonight in Arkansas after 3 law enforcement officers were caught on camera appearing to beat a man pinned to the ground during an arrest. Priscilla Thompson is there tonight, and a warning: the video is disturbing.
A violent arrest caught on camera.
This is bad.
Viewed more than 1 million times, the video appears to show officers in Mulberry, Arkansas, punching and kicking a man in the head and body repeatedly during a Sunday morning arrest, at one point slamming his head into the ground several times. The man seen pinned down here, 27-year-old Randall Worcester. Released on bond, he walked out of the county jail today.
What would you like to see happen to the officers?
The officers, Crawford County Sheriff Deputies Zach King and Levi White, and Mulberry Police Officer Thel Riddle, have all been suspended or placed on leave, pending a state investigation prompted by the viral video. None of the officers involved responded to NBC's request for comment.
What that response was not consistent with the training that they received.
Police say they had been searching for Worcester all morning after he allegedly made terroristic threats in a nearby town and spit on a store clerk. He's now facing more than half a dozen charges, including battery, assault, and resisting arrest.
Spitting on an individual went to someone being beaten with what looked like an inch of their life.
Worcester's attorney saying he was in part left with abrasions to his face and...
Okay, enough. Before I get into the Tyreek Nichols situation, listen, I just want y'all to pay attention because the headline for that article was police brutality is a pandemic. I want y'all to pay attention. Now, of course, they shouldn't have beat Brad. They should have just taken him to jail, of course. But it's interesting, you see, that because Brad got beaten, now all of a sudden police brutality is a pandemic. Are y'all paying attention? So it wasn't a pandemic when they deleted Tyreek Nichols. It wasn't a pandemic when they did what they did to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, countless others. Now it's a pandemic. Beaten within an inch of his life, they said. I mean, the theatrics. But anyway, let me get more into it. Hold on. Let me pull up this article. And so here's what they say. This happened in Arkansas, by the way. 3 Arkansas police officers suspended pending an investigation by state police after a video taken by a bystander shows them brutally beating a shoeless man outside of a convenience store. The video was first posted on Sunday afternoon on Twitter. It shows 2 Crawford County Sheriff's deputies and an officer with the Mulberry Police Department holding down and battering a man later identified by the police as Randall Worcester, age 27, of Goose Creek, South Carolina. The officer's knee punched and slammed his head into the ground. Now, Arkansas news outlet reports that, according to Crawford County Sheriff Jimmy DeMonte, officers were dispatched on Sunday after receiving a call about a man threatening and allegedly spitting on a convenience store employer. Sheriff DeMonte says Worcester then traveled on bike to Mulberry near exit 20, where the Mulberry officer and his deputies met with him. The conversation began calmly, and Worcester handed them a pocket knife. But the sheriff says Worcester then began attacking one of the deputies by pushing him to the ground and punching the back of his head. So I want y'all to pay attention, leading to what we saw in the video. Here's the difference. You see, he, according to them, had a pocket knife. Now, the reason that's important, they say he handed it over to them. But the reason that's important to note is because when Black folk have a pocket knife, or even if they don't, they can get shot numerous of times. Okay. You let a Black person have a pocket knife and even tell the police, hey, sir, I do have a pocket knife. And you go to take it out your pocket to hand it to them as Worcester supposedly did. You could end up deleted. See, that's the difference. Okay. But now they want to cry pandemic of police brutality. Make it all make sense. All right. Let's not forget about Philando Castile, who had a license to carry and told the officer just that, and then said that he had a weapon on him. Now, when he went to show the paperwork, the officer just deleted him, shot him 4 times right in front of his girlfriend and child. Okay. But they allowed Brad to hand them the pocket knife, no less. And then what did they say Brad did? Well, he put his hands on him. Said he began attacking one of the deputies by pushing him to the ground and punching the back of his head. Well, I believe Brad did do that. I believe he did. Because you see, if Brad had not done that, they likely wouldn't have beaten his behind. You see, they only put their hands on those people who look like them when those people give them a reason to. And many times, even when they have a reason to, they don't do anything to them. Let's not forget the elderly man who sat in his car for 40 minutes as the police negotiated with him. He had a gun on his seat and threatened to use it, and in fact had his hand on it the whole time. And the police sitting there talking to him, sir, please put the gun down, take your hand off the gun. They said all this for 40 minutes. This foolishness went on. Let's also not forget the young white man who ran from the police, but they didn't shoot him in his back. I'm not saying they should have. I'm just pointing out the facts and differences and discrepancies. So they didn't shoot him in his back. And when they caught up to him and spoke nicely to him and called him by his name, which I believe was David, David pulled out a knife and stabbed the officer in the throat, in the neck. And the officer then gave chase because Brad ran again. But mind you, that officer never pulled out his gun and shot Brad, even after he was stabbed in the throat. Okay? He pulled out a taser. That's what he did. But see, they delete Black people at minuscule traffic stops, and then they delete them and say, oh, they resisted. Then you have the devils online who perpetuate this foolishness and who go ahead and spew these idiosyncrasies with them. They're saying, well, they should have just complied. They should have just complied. They shouldn't have broken the law. First of all, if you do break the law, you should go to jail. Don't stop and go and don't collect $200. That's what you should do. But what you should not do is be tried and convicted and executed on the sides of roads. Let's say what now? That's all I'm saying. But anyway, let me continue. So clearly Brad attacked them first. And unlike the cases of where they lie on Black folk and then the footage comes out later to prove that they were lying, I don't think they lied on Brad. Now, I'll sit back and wait to see if some footage surfaces later to prove otherwise. But until further notice, Brads have a history of attacking the police and deleting them, in fact. Okay? Worcester has been charged with second-degree battery, resisted arrest, refusal to submit, possessing an instrument of crime, criminal trespass, criminal mischief, terroristic threatening, and second-degree assault. There is no bright line test for when legal use of force by police crosses over into excessive force. Rather, excessive force claims are evaluated under the Fourth Amendment's objective reasonableness standard, which judges incidents based on individual factors and the perspective of a reasonable officer at the scene. However, slamming a person's head into the pavement is not a standard technique to gain compliance. Well, it could have fooled me. Because when they do that to Black folk, I don't hear all this. That's what I don't hear. Okay. Certainly the blows to the head at the same time, you're trying to get a person to put their hands behind their back. Think about it, says former Philadelphia Police Commissioner Charles Ramsey. It doesn't make sense. If you're getting hit in the face, you're going to lift your hands to try to protect your face. Well, I know this is also true, but why don't they have all this to say and the same exact energy when they do these things to Black folk? When Black folk put their hands up to defend and protect themselves, which is a common reflex and instinct by everyone, okay? Why don't they say all this then? No, then it's, oh, they should have complied, and they delete them. Now, in reference to the video circulating on social media, 2 Crawford County deputies, we have requested that Arkansas State Police conduct the investigation, and they say the deputies have been suspended pending the outcome of that investigation. I told all my employees, this is what Chief DeMonte says, I hold all of my employees accountable for their actions and will take appropriate measures in this matter. Okay, yeah, he surely will, because this man was Caucasian. So yes, they'll absolutely get some justice. Now, Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson has confirmed that the Arkansas State Police are investigating the incident, and in a statement to the New York Times, the agency said its investigation will be limited to the use of physical force by the deputies and the police officer. The incident is just the latest video of apparently excessive force to go viral and lead to police being investigated. In April, body cam footage of Tulsa police violently arresting an elderly woman with bipolar disorder drew widespread outrage. Last month, a video went viral of 2016 incident where Colorado police officer chased and tased a man for holding a F bad cop sign. And so this is what they do, honey. I'm not surprised, and neither should any of us be. Okay, so let's talk about what Brandon Williams, who's a former police officer from Memphis, what he had to say.
Before he headed to breaking news, R.J. Shakur spoke with former Memphis police officer Brandon Williams as he echoes the calls for better police practices.
That's right. Brandon served as an officer in MPD for 5 years and says he even knew some of the first 5 officers initially fired after the death of Tyree Nichols. I spoke with him about what police reform would mean for the department.
It was painful.
That's how former MPD officer Brandon Williams felt watching the video footage showing 5 now former MPD officers beating 29-year-old Tyree Nichols.
It's the fact that we all took an oath, and when you see anybody who's taken that oath, break that oath so heinously, it's just painful on all sides.
Williams says with that oath comes, in his view, a responsibility to enforce the law in a respectful and humane manner.
Regardless of the training that you had, whether your academy trained you to do this or do not, there is a decency of humanity that every human is supposed to have towards another person, regardless of the crime they commit or supposedly, in this case, committed or did not commit at all.
Williams patrolled the streets of Memphis with 2 of the 5 former officers currently charged in the murder of Tyree Nichols. And he says they, like him, underwent some of the most rigorous police training in the country.
For Memphis to have the population that we have and the amount of officers we have compared to other major cities, the training is almost as long and strenuous as cities who have triple and quadruple the number of officers we have.
But that training isn't without a need to be reformed, with the fight to improve police practices and protocols continuing on a federal, state, and city level. Williams believes it all starts with rebuilding trust.
MPD is going to have to do a lot of community relations. The city is going to have to trust the chief again. The city is going to have to trust law enforcement as a unit.
Strictly enforcing what police training calls a force continuum, where officers only apply the same amount of force as they're given when at a scene. And
making sure that these people you are hiring aren't people who have come from other departments and got fired. We've seen issues where a lot of people who are repeat offenders in these civil rights cases or constitutional rights cases have also violated in other departments, and some departments are sweeping that under the rug.
It's policing the police as they serve and protect.
So we have to keep all departments at a standard to make sure that no matter if you're a police officer in Montana, Memphis, Tennessee, or Miami, Florida, that we're all following the same standards.
Now, you can learn more about current efforts nationally and locally by officials to reform policing by visiting our website, abc24.com.
What's up, guys? So a lot of you know me for my Spanish content, but a lot of you also know that I was a former Memphis police officer between the years of 2016 and 2021. And I just want to give some insight into the Tyree Nichols incident that's going on with my former police department, so stay tuned. So people have been asking me, I left the department in the end of 2021 after 5 years of service, and people ask me all the time, what do you think about the Tyree Nichols incident moving forward? And there are some points that I want to point out after watching the video and kind of seeing what's been going on in Memphis that I think will be really interesting to you. So 2 of the 5 officers I did patrol with personally and did have a personal relationship with 2 of the 5. So I'm going to be talking from a personal standpoint and from a standpoint as a former Memphis police officer and what I see moving forward. And even though I know 2 of the 5 personally and have patrolled with them personally and had a relationship with them, this in no way excuses any of their actions that partook about 2 weeks ago with the Tyree Nichols incident. The first thing that I want to talk about, which is utter BS, is you'll see a lot of conservatives, but you see a lot of far-right conservatives that say, why did he run? He would still be alive if he ran. That's not a guarantee. So the first thing that came out was that this all started because this was a reckless driving. But now the chief of the department is saying that there is no evidence of reckless driving, which means you can't say that if he never ran that he would still be alive when the stop was illegal in the first place. Now, I have had to pull out people, rip people out of a car aggressively at gunpoint with foul language many a times. But most of those people were murderers, robbers, sexual assaulters, the worst of the worst, where you needed to meet violence with violence. Never once did I put my gun in the face of somebody who I suppose for reckless driving, right? So from the get-go, you have a man who was not guilty of anything fleeing from the police because he's scared because he doesn't even know why he's getting pulled over in such an aggressive manner. So as a black male, I probably would have ran too, and I was the police for 5 years. Number 2, there is no way, form, or fashion that you take a police boot and you strike a man's face multiple times while he's on the ground. No form, no way, no fashion. There is no way that that is excusable. I don't care who you're fighting. A kick to the face right here, that could be lethal. And unless you're trying to intentionally kill somebody, that is not a tactic that is taught nor should ever be used. Number 3, if you are a police officer, I don't care how cool you are, people, you never, ever, ever let your fellow officer do anything that you wouldn't let be done to you. You are just as guilty as the lynch mobs who used to lynch black people and watch them die and get lynched, even though they never put a hand on them. You are just as guilty. And my last point, everybody from the beaters to the paramedics to the regular officers on the scene that stood there and watched is going to lose their job and should, because once you look at somebody, no matter what crime they did, and you take the human out of them, you have now also lost your humanity and now your freedom.
Okay, well, no lies detected. He's absolutely right. Hold on. Hold on, beloveds.
There is growing fallout tonight in Arkansas.
Okay, I had another video, but apparently I didn't upload it. Okay. So anyway, point being, they know they were dead wrong, okay? And then they want to talk about police training. There's no police training that's going to stop people from being racist. And at the end of the day, it's not about, it's not even only about racist police. It's about a nefarious culture that is within the police departments all around this country. Because you even have police officers who are black doing the exact same things, okay, as the racist cops do. So this is a culture. And it has been a pandemic. So the fact that they're just now saying that, they need to sit down somewhere. This is all egregious. I'm glad that Brandon Williams came out and spoke about it. I saw Dan said that he thought I was about to say Brandon Tatum. Honey, Brandon Tatum, he needs to sit down somewhere. Okay, we already know what he is, a raccoon, all right? Yeah, he's a police officer or former police officer, but all he does is agree with all the bullshit that they do, and he, in fact, condones it, okay? And he looks like us. So people like him are absolutely a big part of the problem, not just the racist devils, but people that look like us too. Okay. Jack the Diva says no amount of training. Yeah, exactly. Because you can't train someone not to be racist. No amount of training can remove deep-rooted hatred from the heart of anyone. Exactly. This is all so true. Okay. So anyway, now they say an elderly black woman sued. Let me pull this up. Sued the Mid-Florida Credit Union for racial discrimination, and Benjamin Crump took the lawsuit. So let's talk about that real quick. And then we got to talk about Michael Jackson. These devils, they cannot stop lying and trying to paint narratives and push agendas about Michael Jackson. Like, this man cannot even rest in peace. And I know his family is beyond livid, because I am.
I said, where is my money? I said, all I want is my money. Where is it?
And a grandma recounting the moments she says she was arrested. She demanded to know where her $600 went after depositing it in an ATM. Well, tonight she has filed a lawsuit against Mid-Florida Credit Union. She says she was handcuffed, taken out of that bank by officers. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Matt Austin.
And I'm Lisa Bell. Linda Stevens says this all unfolded back in 2021 at a bank in Polk County. News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden was at today's press conference in downtown Orlando. And Lewis, she says her nose was fractured and she was roughed up while in custody.
That's right, Lisa, she does. Stevens says she banked with the same credit union for nearly 50 years. They say all she wanted was the money she tried to deposit into her account. Instead of getting her money, she got arrested and thrown in jail. They say because she's black.
Miss Stevens is a black grandmother who was a victim of banking while black.
Civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump stands outside the Orange County Courthouse after filing a racial discrimination lawsuit on behalf of 70-year-old Linda Stevens.
We have to fight racism and discrimination wherever it rears its ugly head.
In April of 2021, Stevens says she deposited $600 into the ATM at Mid-Florida Credit Union in Bartow, Florida. The next morning, she says she checked her account and the money had not posted. The retired teacher and assistant principal in Polk County Schools says she immediately went to the bank with her receipt. She says she was told the ATM was broken.
I waited all day and checking my account online. There was nothing in my account that indicated they had placed that money, credited my money to my account.
The next day, Stevens says she went back to the bank demanding her money because she needed to pay her mortgage. According to the arrest report, Stevens caused a disturbance and the tellers called police, who ended up arresting her and taking her to jail. The grandmother says she spent the night in jail and the state attorney's office dropped the criminal charges. Mr. Crump, can you explain to people why you believe this is about race? If the allegations are true, why wouldn't this just be a terrible case of customer service?
You know, Lewis, that's the one thing we always grapple with.
Crump says Stevens' case mirrors others around the country.
Every time on these cases, it turns out they say, we were wrong. We apologize to the black customer. That's why we believe that banking while black is real. And we don't believe Miss Linda Stevens would have had the police called on her if she were a white woman.
While in custody, Stevens was thrown face first into a police car. Her nose was fractured, and she was stripped naked and transported to the jail annex, according to the lawsuit.
I was just traumatized. I was humiliated. I was dehumanized, all because I wanted my money.
We started reaching out to Mid-Florida Credit Union this morning with telephone calls and emails. We are still waiting for a response. Lisa?
Find a better business anytime at.
Okay, so they don't have anything to say, fools. They are such fools. But then they stripped her naked. First of all, let me tell y'all something. It is no coincidence. First of all, why would you strip this elderly woman naked? Well, I'm so glad you asked. To further humiliate her. It was already traumatizing and humiliating enough that she was arrested when she was simply trying to bank. And she was complaining about her money not being deposited into her account. Okay? We all really need to start banking black, okay, with black-owned banks. This is so disgusting and despicable. And she's been with them for 50 years, and this is the thanks that she gets. This is the thanks that she gets. And she had an accent. So I'm inclined to think that she may be an immigrant. Now, why is that important? Well, because right now we have fools out here painting narratives on both sides. We have people that call themselves FBA, and we have some black immigrants out here going against other people who look like them. And it's all so stupid and clearly nefarious. You see, we're sitting here on the brink of an orchestrated food famine. An orchestrated famine, okay? Eggs are sky high, right? Ridiculously high. Then we have Bill Gates purchased all of this farmland. Now he's invested in a water company. What is he up to? Y'all should be paying attention to that, okay? And then we have the health department going out to this Amish farm and harassing them folk about their milk. Yeah, we're going to get into that in a second. But at the end of the day, what's really going on? And then we have foolish people arguing about hairlines. We have people worried about hairlines. Oh, you don't have an FBA hairline. That don't look like an FBA hairline. Meanwhile, we have melanated people being deleted by the police for no good reasons. We have black people being discriminated against, okay, for no good reason other than that they're black. We have an ensuing famine. We have a crashed economy. We have all sorts of nefariousness going on, but this is what we're worried about. We're arguing over whose hairline looks like FBA. This is also stupid. And I just want y'all to pay attention. And I also want y'all to pay attention not only to Bussy Reek, but to any of the people that are on YouTube who defend him and who spew his stupid, insidiously obtuse talking points. Okay, there's other people that are involved in the black media, the new black media, who spew his same talking points. Now, if y'all think, those of you who have sense, and you do think that Bussy Reek is pushing a divide and conquer, wanton supremacist agenda, well, you should also think the same of anybody shouting him out on their platform, spewing his rhetoric, divisive rhetoric on their platform, and anyone trying to help him paint these narratives, and anyone trying to help him in his agenda. You should be looking at them with a whole side eye. People like Dr. Ma'at, people like Phil Scott. Yeah, I said it. You should be looking at these people, okay? Black truth, right? Aren't him and Black Authority the same person? I have so many questions. At the end of the day, that's what you should be doing. You see, if you ask me, it's starting to look like many of the new Black media are infiltrators, and they're not working for us. It seems to me that they're working for the wanton supremacists spewing this divisive rhetoric. I mean, if this is what we know that the wanton supremacists love, then why would we engage in it? I don't care what the excuse is, because in fact, there is no legitimate excuse. Okay, and anybody who's mad, you can exit stage left, because I didn't ask you to be here. Okay, so if you're mad at what the queen is saying, just unfollow, unsubscribe, leave, and don't come back, because I only want intelligent Black people, okay, with common sense and who exercise critical thinking skills and who aren't divisive and who can prove points with facts rather than trying to deflect and gaslight by name calling and being insidiously obtuse. All right. Mr. Hotel says stay pressed like juice. Exactly. That's what they can do. They can miss me with it. But let's talk about Michael Jackson. So the director, Dan Reed, y'all remember Dan Reed, right? He's the fool that did that Leaving Neverland documentary. So now he's got something to say about Michael Jackson again. He just can't leave Michael Jackson out of his mouth. Let me tell you what the fool said. Leaving Neverland director says Michael Jackson biopic will glorify a man who abused children. Now I'm going to tell you like this. The Jackson estate, they need to sue him for defamation, libel, and slander. That's what they need to do. They need to sue him because, first of all, he wouldn't be saying this about my relative, okay, after they've already been acquitted of the charges. So that's defamation, libel, and slander. You see, Michael Jackson was acquitted of the charges. We'll get into that in a minute. Dan Reed says the biopic sends a message that if a pedophile is rich and popular enough, society will forgive him. That's what he said. First of all, who he calling a pedophile? I have questions. Because like I said, Michael Jackson was absolutely acquitted. Now, here's what they go on to say. The director of the documentary Leaving Neverland has argued that the upcoming biopic of Michael Jackson will glorify a child rapist. The 2019 documentary is a brutally frank and explicit account of two abusive relationships, says British director Dan Reed, who in a comment piece for The Guardian published on Sunday. It says the documentary reveals that the pop star raped a boy, Wade Robinson, when he was just 7 years old. Hold on, let me put this devil's picture up here on the screen. Like and share, everyone. Please like and share. If you're mad, unsubscribe. Y'all know I don't care. Okay, now here's what they say. The documentary reveals that the pop star first raped a boy, Wade Robinson, when he was 7 years old and abused another, James Safechuck, starting when the child was only 10. Mr. Reed wrote that the film was an opportunity to bring to the widest possible audience an insight into how children fall victim to any sexual abuser, the psychology of the predator, and above all, the grooming process. He described his hope that the film would prevent other children from being abused, adding that destroying Michael Jackson's reputation was not the primary goal. Yeah, of course it was. Okay, of course it was. But that it seemed like a necessary collateral impact. These devils never cease to amaze me. He says, if you know that your idol has abused children, should that not make celebrating his personality a little more problematic, to say the least? Mr. Reed said that he wrote the comment piece because a film being made about Michael Jackson will soon be produced hand in hand with the co-executors of Jackson's estate. So here's what it is. I'm going to tell you why he's really mad. He's really mad because this biopic is probably going to dispute his bullshit that was spewed in Finding or Leaving Neverland. Okay? I just want y'all to pay attention because it was nothing but outright lies told. It was nothing but lies told. Now, turning his attention to the makers of the biopic, Mr. Reed asked, how will you represent the moment when Jackson, a grown man in his 30s, takes a child by the hand and leads them into that bedroom? How will you depict what happens next? By sidestepping the question of Jackson's predilection for sleeping with young boys, you are broadcasting a message to millions of survivors of child abuse. The message is, if a pedophile is rich and popular enough, society will forgive him, he concluded. Well, that's interesting because you see those two little thugs that he brought on there, James Safechuck and Wade Robson, well, they both lied. We've already proven that with receipts. Did we not? And in fact, one of them in 2005, here it is right here. Mr. Reed noted that Mr. Robson now admits that he lied in court in 2005 to protect Mr. Jackson, leading to his acquittal in his child's S abuse. Here's the thing. He said he lied to protect him. No, he's lying now. I just want y'all to pay attention. He said that he lied. Well, here's the thing. How convenient is it that he now says that he lied in the first place, not the second, mind you, because he wanted to be in that documentary. He wanted clouds. He wanted money. Because remember, right after that, they tried to sue Michael Jackson's estate. This is all such bullshit. And you already know that Oprah was involved in it. Oprah's the one who gave these lying devils a platform, but she was supposed to be Michael Jackson's friend. So this is the report from 2005. Because remember, they didn't shout this out loud in the press and on the mainstream media. They shouted out the accusations, but not the acquittal. On June 13, 2005, Michael Jackson, the legendary king of pop, who was dogged for years by accusations of child molestation, was acquitted of all charges related to the allegations that he molested a boy who spent time at the Neverland Ranch and appeared with him in the 2003 British documentary, Living with Michael Jackson. The panel of 8 women and 4 men acquitted Jackson of molestation, attempted molestation, plying minors with liquor, and conspiracy stemming from an alleged attempt to hold his accuser and the boy's family virtual hostages of Neverland after the documentary aired. I mean, this is all the lies they told. So anyway, another thing is some of Jackson's own family members. Let me see if I can find that. I'm not going to read this whole thing. They say that some of Michael Jackson's family members who were teens at the time said that they saw the boys, you know, looking at explicit magazines while they were there without Michael Jackson being anywhere present. Michael didn't have anything to do with it, and saying that they were in the wine cellar, going in the wine and all that. This is what these little devils were doing. So for them to sit there and act like Michael Jackson did all this stuff, and even after he was acquitted, they still want to say this. It just goes to show how wicked and nefarious these devils are. Okay? And the fact that they're still allowing them to paint this narrative. But this is what they do to Black people. After they're gone and they're no longer here to defend themselves, this is what devils do. This is what they do. Yes, the family needs to sue them, Jag the Diva. They absolutely do. Like, this is all so sick and annoying. Should we believe you when you tell a lie about another lie? And in that lie, you lied again, says Nicole. Exactly. Make it make sense. Now, he said that Michael didn't do anything to him on the stand. Now, years later, after Michael's no longer with us, he wants to come back and say, oh, I was just lying then. I was trying to protect him. Well, if you were protecting him then, how come you're doing the opposite now? No, that's not what happened. Now he's an adult and he's broke. He doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. And he wanted money. That's why he did it, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Okay? These devils need to sit down somewhere. I don't know why Oprah, well, yes, I do. I know why she gave them a platform, because she's an idiot. That's the two lying thugs like that right there, with the director, Dan Reed, in the middle, and then Robson and Safechuck. Those are the two lying devils. So anyway, oh, so nefarious. But like I said, we have all this stuff going on, but we worried about bullshit. Now let's talk about this Russian balloon. This Chinese balloon that they were going in about. Now they've been mocking the U.S. Okay, they've had all the jokes about the U.S. Pay attention.
Tank 101. Get their attention.
All of you need to get a grip.
Any way you can. Get smart. Watch Shark Tank Sunday through Thursday at 7 Eastern. CNBC.
On the technical front, technology front, you see a lot of new policy initiative early on a few months ago that Biden administration, not just the Congress, Biden administration adopted the policy to be very tough on, the the semiconductor and also require American citizens and green card holders do not do business in this area with China. So that's a very important development. But also there's a consideration by the Biden administration to extend that semiconductor, this domain to even much broader sectors like AI, like the quantum computing, like maybe aerospace, and then name it. So that will affect the technological, kind of integration or cooperation early on.
Yes.
Of course, U.S. have every reason to be concerned about national security, but the point is that we are obsessed with to create our own industrial or supply chains, particularly with that. Is that the right thing to do? What is the cost? Really, can we contain China at this stage of game? China's technology, you can see that catch up very, very quickly. So now we do need to be concerned that what are the forces to push for these kind of things in China and also in the United States. I think a military-industry complex certainly play a very, very important role.
Indeed. And Cheng Li, does the Biden administration then revert to former President Trump's playbook, and do both sides end up intensifying the weaponization of technology, as you point out, and trade once again to drive their positions home?
Well, you do see the continuity from Trump administration to Biden administration. That tells us that it's nothing to do with individual leader, nothing to do with the parties, but more to do with structural problem. Structural problem meaning two things. One is United States face a real challenge. Maybe since the end of the World War II, we never experienced this kind of rivalry. It's so comprehensive in terms of power, not only just the military, but also economic, technology, and maybe even other domains. So we do need to address that very seriously. But also, I want to make sure that I don't want to go too far to say Biden administration and Trump administration, especially Trump's last year, are the same. Trump's last year, because of COVID, because of many other things, his hawkish team actually wanted to completely decouple with China, wanted to go ahead to support Taiwan's independence and also see China's threat as a societal threat, or even end the education exchanges. So Biden administration fix these things and also make sure that Asian American or Chinese American are protected, not elitism, and also do not want to stop the education exchanges, and also be cautious about the Taiwan independence. Biden administration said our policy, Taiwan policy, one China policy, is still the same, although we are critical about China's cohesive behaviors according to Biden administration.
Does anyone know what the hell he was talking about? I'm sorry. Say what now? Now, I'm sorry, but that's exactly what I call babble. Okay? But here's the thing. I find it all so interesting. Hey, Edward. I find it all so interesting. Janice said I didn't understand what he was saying. I damn sure didn't. I just played the video. Just for a laugh. I heard him saying something about Biden and protecting the Asian folk. Well, I know who Biden doesn't protect, and that's the black folk. But let me continue. So anyway, I needed a laugh, and clearly y'all did too. But really, they've been clowning the U.S., the Chinese media, about that balloon. Now, here's the thing. Even if the balloon is a spy or has a spy camera in it, I don't care. I don't care. Why is the U.S. acting like they're so mad and concerned? Because they spy on us every day. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, aren't they doing the same thing to us that China does to their citizens, but they were trying to call China inhumane? I want y'all to pay attention, okay? You see, the Biden administration, nefarious as they are, they're trying to create a communist system over here, a communist regime. That's what it seems like to me. Don't y'all think so? So I find it all interesting that they're complaining. I mean, they want to track us. They're able to track us. Oh, matter of fact, let me tell y'all something. I'm about to give y'all a lifeline, okay? I'm about to give y'all a lifeline. How many of you in here have iPhones? Put ones in the chat. Everyone who uses and has an iPhone, put ones in the chat. I'm about to do y'all a favor. I'm about to do y'all a favor right now. I meant to do this last week, but I forgot. Everyone who has an iPhone, put ones in the chat. The U.S. is doing the same stuff to us that China's doing to their citizens, but they want to complain about a spy camera. Sit down. Okay, so listen, here's what I want you all to do. Those of you who have iPhones, get your phones right now and go to settings. I'm going to do it on my phone at the same time, even though I've already done this, but just to make sure I don't leave out any steps. Okay, so everyone with an iPhone, go to the settings in your phone and then go to privacy and security. Go to settings and then go to privacy and security. Then go to location services. And then scroll all the way down to system services. And when you go down to system services, then scroll down to significant locations. When you click on system services, when you click on that, scroll all the way down to significant locations. And when you get to significant locations, please turn it off. But before you do, look and see how many of the places you've gone to in the past few days or a couple of weeks, and that they have been monitoring, that they have been watching and have saved on your phone. Yes, Mr. Hotel, is clearly nefarious. I told Mr. Hotel about this last week, I believe. Okay? Now make sure y'all do that. I just did y'all solid. All right? But they sitting here talking about spy cameras and balloons. Honey, sit down, U.S. Okay, that's what they can do. Turn that off. All right, they're sitting up here tracking us and spying on us with everything we do. They're sitting here trying to control everything we do. You know, I told you all just last week that he who controls the food supply controls the people. And that's what they're trying to do. You all don't think it's a coincidence that Bill Gates bought 286,000 acres of farmland, do you? You don't think it's a coincidence that now he's bought stock in a water company, do you? Y'all don't find that suspicious? Y'all don't find that suspicious? Okay, and now they've come out and said, let me see if I can find this article real quick. Hold on, I want y'all to see this. Now they've come out and said that eggs are causing blood clots. Yeah, pay attention to the foolishness. This is what they say. Oh, I'm sorry. They say that now they're claiming it's false. Okay. Well, I knew it was false because it didn't make any sense. Okay. But I just want y'all to pay attention to the lies that they tell and the narratives that they push and how they're sitting here complaining about China and other countries, but they do the same thing to us. Okay. They try to track us. King Lejeune said, I'm calling bullshit. Yes, absolutely. They have all this stuff going on so nefarious, but we're sitting over here as Black folk and we're complaining about hairlines. We're complaining about hairlines. I mean, make that all make sense. All right. So now they said that egg story is false. Oh, I knew it was false. And see, now they came back and said it was false because nobody believed it or fell for it in the first place. I just want y'all to pay attention. Just like people didn't believe that stuff about sitting at your desk at a computer at your job for 8 hours can make you have a heart attack. Or being out in the cold and all that stuff, or being in the heat too long, and they had all these nefarious excuses. I just want y'all to pay attention, okay? Nobody believes this. Nobody with sense, all right? Nobody with sense believes all this. Hold on, but let me show y'all this other video, because these devils are real busy, and we don't have time to be playing games, and we darn sure don't have time to be sitting up here arguing about hairlines and, about other people who look like us. Because whether the other people that look like us hate us or not, they're not stopping us from getting reparations. There's only one group of people doing that. That's the globalists. That's the ones who are in power, the ones who are in charge. And they don't look like us. So where's the smoke for them? Those are the ones holding our coins. Okay, those are the ones keeping us from getting reparations. All right? I don't care how many Black immigrants don't like me. At the end of the day, they're not the ones holding me down. Once supremacy is. And as far as I'm concerned, if someone says something negative about you, well, you can either ignore it or say something back. But what you shouldn't do is waste your time and energy on bullshit, talking about hip hop and who's trying to take hip hop and who's got hairlines and all that stupid stuff. You should be worried about what's going on right now, what's beneficial and also what's detrimental. Okay. And they're trying to control the food supply. So they're trying to control us. They're trying to track us, or they have been tracking us, not trying, they actually are tracking us. Okay. And so that's what we need to be worried about. I'm quite sure when famine really hits hard and people can't buy food and they can't find food and they can't pay their bills and all those things, I'm sure hairlines, whether they're FBA or not, that's not going to be important to anybody. Okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea because there's fraudulent evidence going around, and there could be some trouble.
Okay.
Personal prosecution or something. So it's up to you.
Okay. All right. So you'll let us in then?
Yeah. Just do your thing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's up to you.
How you doing today, sir? Mr. Kane, you're in my personal space. Would you please move back?
You can video me, just get us to go to the really fast, okay?
Do you have a door that's open?
I don't think so. I talked with my attorney, and he said, let you do your thing.
Okay, but the warrant says that we inspect inside buildings.
Yeah, we're free to do that. I mean, it's up to you.
So you need to open the building so we can look.
Can you show me where that's might be authorized to do it?
It basically says that we petition the court for this inspection warrant to inspect the premises, which include processing packaging that are stored for sale.
Okay.
So that's inside this building.
Okay.
So can you please let us in?
I don't see where it says that I have to open the door. I mean, if you can show me, I'm willing to do it. I mean.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, you're not going to unlock the door for me to go in and serve the order.
That's what my attorney advised me to do.
Okay.
So I'm going by his advice.
Okay, so you're not going to let me in?
I'm just going by the advice of my attorney.
Okay, well, we're not going to hassle you anymore today, so I will have to return the warrant to the judge and let him know that, okay?
Up to you.
Okay. Would you like to take 5 minutes and just talk to me in private?
No, he doesn't want to talk to her in private. Talk to you in private for what? He already told you he's not going to unlock his door, and I wouldn't unlock it either. Who do they think they are? And why are they coming there harassing that man about his milk? Y'all see what's going on here, right? Now, let us not forget that just a couple of years ago, or maybe a year and a half or so ago, the farmers were saying that they were being offered one and a half times what their land was worth. Okay. And then also being told to stop growing their crops and to destroy them. Y'all remember that? The farmers came out and said that. Now, why would they want them to stop growing their food and crops? Yeah, but I told you all, and I'm going to keep reminding you, I told you all Thanksgiving Day of 2020 that they were going to manufacture famine. Okay? And I've been telling y'all and giving y'all lifelines ever since. So make sure you have your non-perishable food items. Make sure that you're learning to grow and plant your own food. Okay? And this is about survival. This isn't a joke. Our very lives depend on it. And buy water every time you go to the store. You can never have too much, but you surely don't want to have too little. All right. And get your guns and ammunition. Make sure those guns are clean, to make sure you have a license to carry, and make sure you're ready to protect and defend yourselves and your family. Because I tell you, when it gets really bad, and oh, trust me, it will, those people who don't have food, those people who are, starving, you think they're out here robbing and stealing now? What do you think it's going to look like when they don't have food to eat? It's going to look like the Hunger Games. Okay. I just want y'all to pay attention. It's going to look like the Hunger Games. So listen, there was an earthquake in Erie County. Let's get into it. I'm about to go to the report. Don't forget about all those food production companies that caught fire, and 2 of them planes flew into them. Okay, I think it was 254 of them that caught fire. Y'all don't find that suspicious? I reported that to you on several occasions, just a couple of weeks ago and last year when it happened. All right. And then the Walmart's catching fire, and they want to try to blame that on black people. Remember, they showed those black men talking about they were people of interest, but you haven't heard anything else about that. Okay, I hope y'all are paying attention. Conveniently, those Walmarts that burned down, they were in black neighborhoods. And now they're saying they're going to stop. They're not going to reopen them because of shoplifting. Shoplifting's always been a problem. They're not going to leave them closed because of shoplifting being the issue. We know what the real issue is. Okay.
Everybody be like, holla, konnichiwa, hola, salute. Come on, been around the world a time or two and never seen anything quite like you. Now you got everybody trying to.
This week we want to know, are boneless wings actually just chicken nuggets? That's the question. We want to know if that's what you think. Are boneless wings chicken nuggets? Your options are.
Hold on. I don't know what video that is. Hold on, beloveds. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, here we go. Hold on, let me cue this first so I can make sure this is the right one. I don't know what that was. In the meantime, like and share. Don't forget to like and share. Okay, here we go.
And Chris, yeah, we've been live here at the EG Tax with Esther Gulias all morning long learning about tax season, when right after one of our live hits, we felt a big shake. Now, here to tell us more is Esther. Esther, do you want to tell us what we felt here?
Well, we thought something hit our building. I thought a car crashed into it. Then I thought maybe it was a bomb that exploded. So it's unbelievable to think that it was an earthquake.
Right, and you've lived in Buffalo for a long time, right? Yeah. So have you ever felt anything like this before?
One time when we were on Niagara Falls Boulevard, there was a shaking, and I've been in South America when I've been in an earthquake, but this was really unusual because it felt like a bomb. This was really unusual because it felt like a bomb or something hit my building.
Yeah, I will say, it felt like this building, it just shook. And we are hearing that the National Weather Service is saying that it was a 3.8 earthquake, and it was felt strongly throughout Buffalo. And according to officials, it is unknown at this time if there has been any damage, but we will continue to keep you updated both on air and online throughout the morning. But for now, live in Tonawanda, Hope Winter News 4.
All right, Hope.
Okay, so that's crazy. But hold on, because there was also an earthquake in Turkey, and they say more than 1,000 people were deleted. Okay, so let's go to that. Let's go to that report. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Y'all know they got me shadow banned.
In the early hours of the morning, a series of powerful earthquakes have caused widespread damage and killed almost 1,500 people. Many thousands more have been injured, and an unknown number of people are still missing. The biggest tremor had a magnitude of 7.8 with an epicenter in Turkey's Gaziantep province, which borders northern Syria. It came just after 4 in the morning local time. But there have been almost 30 other shocks in the region, all powerful enough to magnify the damage. The earthquake was felt 700 kilometers away in Gaza and in Egypt. Well, Turkey has declared a state of emergency. The Syrian government is also taking emergency measures, but the response in that country is being made far more complex by the effects of civil war. Now, while Turkey's allies, including the United States, the European Union and NATO, have offered help, there have been far fewer offers for Syria.
So they don't want to help Syria. Pay attention. This is all going on, so nobody has time to be worried about hairlines. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so with that all being said, Before I forget to conclude this broadcast, before I conclude the broadcast, let me remind you guys that my cookbook, my ebook, it is for sale. Okay, for those of you who want it, at the end of thank you, Pure Carbon, thank you, beloved. Okay, it is for sale. Okay, you can Cash App me, and I will send you the link. And when you send the money, when you Cash App me the money, make sure you put your email on there, okay? Make sure you put your email so I know what it's for, all right? Make sure you put your email so that I know what it's for, all right? And so it is the Royal Vegan Cookbook, okay? And it is $24.99. For those of you who are members to my spiritual channel, who have the lower memberships, you can get it. I believe I told you all $12.99. And then for those of you who have the self-elevating and the higher frequency memberships, you get it for free. Okay, you get it for free. So with that all being said, also let me remind you all, I'm going live on the spiritual channel today at 6. So all of you make sure you tune in. And Honey 69 and Bivlin Caraway, please make sure that you send me your emails so that I can send you the notifications. If you've already sent me the email, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But Honey 69 and Bivlin, I didn't have you all's emails last time I checked. Okay. And you know, I send out the links to all of you with the memberships. Okay. So I don't have to worry about YouTube doing it. But with that all being said, also this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the spiritual channel, Queen Ahmadiyyah TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye. Those of you who have memberships, you're going to see an exclusive interview that I'm going to be having. Let me just pull up her information real quick. Moni Amandla. Now she's an entrepreneur. Okay, she's also known as the modern medicine woman. She's a scientist. And she has great knowledge about holistic treatments and things like that. Okay, so she's going to be on the show on Friday at 6 p.m. I've already scheduled this. She's a lovely lady. I've already met her and everything. And so she's going to be on there. Her name is Moni Amandla. Okay, so make sure you're ready for that. Those of you who have memberships, it will be exclusive for members only. I'm not going to be reposting it for those who don't have memberships like I did with the last interview. And the reason I did that last interview is because I just wanted y'all to see that, because some of y'all have these demons, these spirits attached to you. You don't know it. But so with that all being said, everyone who has a membership will be getting this exclusive information. And from now on, all of the interviews on the spiritual channel will only, in fact, be for members. Okay. All right. And then so those of you who have the high frequency memberships, you know, you get a free spiritual classes once a month. Okay. And the free ebooks, and also self-elevating, that membership, you also get free ebooks once a month. So with that all being said, I wish you all love, peace, and light. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Okay, do something productive, constructive, but never destructive, beloveds. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. And until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
With that soul all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got